you trade? Who do you trade on this Lakers squad, or do you keep it the same?
To be honest with you, it's still kind of early, Jay. For right now, I'll keep it the same. Like I said, there's a bunch of players still that we haven't seen from the Lakers that are injured. Like I said, Trevor Ariza, and many more. Um, but I'll keep it the same right now. Come back to me in about, I'll say, February or before All Star break. And then we can get it from there. But for right now, I'll keep it the same. Like you said, Russell Westbrook, those triple doubles count. They count. But when Russell Westbrook, he can do the triple doubles, but for some reason, we still can get the losses. Um, but right now, keep it the same. I feel like this roster, this team is still good. Are we good enough right now to beat the Warriors and beat the Rockets? Or I'm not the
I
Rockets,
think it'll be
but
the Rockets, but
we
they
could
were
definitely,
sitting
yeah.
like 4 and something.
But can we beat the Warriors and can we beat the Suns? No, and that's something that's terrifying to say because both of those teams are in my division in the Pacific West. So if we cannot beat the Warriors and we can beat the Suns, we're not making it to the championship. So there's a lot that the Lakers need to turn it around. And good thing that it's early into the season because if this was towards the end of the season, we wouldn't even be in the playoff picture right now, guys. We're not in the playoff picture at all. We're about ninth, I think, or 10th in the rankings right now of the Western side. So that's not good, especially with a team with so much veteran caliber players. And they need to turn it around big. But come back to me around February, and I'll let you know if we should trade.
And I get that. Let me ask you this. I'll tell you who else looks pretty dang hot right now. And I know if you look at last year's team or last year's standings, and you look at this, Washington Wizards, man.
Yes.
And they're not even relying on Beal. They're not even relying on him. They're doing it on the other shooters. And of course, Bill is obviously doing his thing, but they're not having to rely on him to carry the load. The other members, the other non-factors are carrying the load right along with him. And that's why this Wizards team is doing so well. Obviously, you got the typical Brooklyn Nets. I mean, KD, Harden's rounding back into form as he gets back. I'm still upset with Harden. And he let the
I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna excite everybody right now. The one team to me that is hot compared to last year's team to this year's team, the New York Knicks, baby. Look at the New York Knicks. They are a hot team right now. Tom Thibodeau is doing a great job coaching this squad. Derrick Rose is doing a wonderful job coming off and leading the bench squad. You have Julius Randle, who's continuously playing at a wonderful high caliber level that he continued from last year. This New York Knicks squad is hot. They started off on a hot undefeated record, and now they've been losing a couple of games, but they've been winning more than they've been losing. And they just came off a close 2-point loss to the Brooklyn Nets, a team that just almost made it to that Eastern Conference Finals last year. So if the Knicks can keep up what they're doing, I would be scared to watch the Knicks this year in the playoffs because they turned it around big within a year.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, that's the Knicks. That's another one. I mean, the Knicks. I mean, and Julius Randle. I mean, you're right. So there's a lot out there. I mean, obviously, who's not hot? Yeah, like I said,
Houston Rockets.
Yeah, man. Listen, but you know what though? Hey, I'm not hating on them because you know what? Hey, at the end of the day, man, we're in rebuild mode. We ain't supposed to be doing all that much. I mean, honestly, Christian Wood is. I think we had 2 corner pieces in Christian Wood and Jalen Green. I think they're going to be great. Now what are we going to do with John Wall and his $91 million contract? There's talks about him coming back. Does he come back? Does he want to take a bench role? That's the big thing. Is he going to come off the bench? I don't think he wants to come off the bench. But if I was in his shoes, I'm trying to play for another contract or another team, I would come back and play off the bench. You're still getting paid $91 million a year. It's not like you're making chump change.
Exactly. All right, let's move it on. The NFL season's underway. Sorry, guys, we've been a little bit late. Like I said, this was a late start for Unscripted to come back. So we need to catch up with you guys on the NBA and NFL season and let you guys know to us who's hot and who's not. So we're going to start off and talk about the NFL season as well. Jake, who's hot in the NFL and who's not?
Clearly, there's a lot of teams out there, and I'm not one that likes to talk about, the evil empire and all that it encompasses. But I think it's really hard to deny the Patriots, man. I mean, the Patriots are just rising up the storm. Mac Jones, he's just rising up the storm. He's fitting so well into Bill Belichick's system that it's ridiculous. I mean, like I said, Bill's looking like a. Bill's
I got you on the big screen, Jay. Can you say it again? Who you talking about, Jay? Say it again.
I hate to say it, but Bill Belichick looking like the old Bill Belichick. The guy waited. He could have jumped up and tried to get a Trevor Lawrence or a Justin Fields or whatever, or try to get Mac Jones up there higher. But man, he just sat there in his chair. Probably had some couple of beers with his little German Shepherd or whatever the heck he has that last time in the war room. But you know what? He got Mac Jones that just fell right into his lap. The next Tom Brady literally fell right into his lap. I say Tom Brady because not that I'm trying to say that Mac Jones is Tom Brady, but he's in the mold of like a Tom Brady. He's a guy that just fits into that system, right? And in what 6, 7, 8, 10 years from now, if him and Bill keep doing what they're doing, he could be the next Tom Brady in terms of rings, right? I mean, but right now I got the Patriots rising up, man. I mean, you can't deny them. You just can't. And then of course, outside of New England, then I turn to another guy, a team that I tell you, last year they were nothing. This year they're megastars. Is Cincinnati. Burrow, has come back from that awful knee injury, and he's got Cincinnati just playing out of this world right now. And they're beating teams. They're not going to win they're not going to win the Super Bowl or anything. But I tell you what, they're working on it. They're building that team.
And I said that last year during the live stream at our draft. I said when they picked up Jamar Chase, you guys wanted them to pick up the offensive lineman to protect Joe Burrow, who ended up going to Detroit, who is actually he's upset right now because he haven't won a game yet. So he's kind of upset. And I was excited for Jamar Chase going to Cincinnati because I said that Joe Burrow is going to have that wide receiver that he played with in college that's going to equal out to him. And I knew it was going to happen. And look how Cincinnati, they're second, I believe. Right. They're second in their division. Who would think that? Everybody picked Cincinnati to come out being in last place again. But no, this is the Joe Burrow that took LSU to the championship game and won it. I'm not, like Jay said, and I'm going to agree with Jay, this is not a Cincinnati team that's going to obviously win the Super Bowl. No way they're going to win it. They're gonna end up going to the playoffs, maybe because we got some hot teams right now in the wild card for the AFC. But if Cincinnati can keep doing what they're doing, this is going to be a playoff team soon.
And I'll tell you, listen, Baltimore, don't just take a back seat, man. Listen, and put it into automatic mode, because let me tell you something. The Bengals are nipping. They're only what, half a game or a game behind you guys. So I mean, they're nipping at your heels. You sleep on the Bengals, and pretty soon it's going to be you in second place. It's going to be Cincinnati in first. I'm telling you, watch out for the Bengals, man. Don't take them lightly. Next, we move on to Tennessee. Tennessee's looking pretty good. Obviously, they lost their running game in Henry, but I tell you, man, they play with the next level, the next man up, and Tennessee's looking pretty good. And even though Indianapolis is at 6-6, I will say that Wentz is doing pretty well with the Colts. I mean, they're not, I still don't see them. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they are doing a lot better than what I thought they were going to do with Wentz, to be honest with you. And then I move on to KC. KC for me is just an up and down team right now. I think they're still kind of finding their offensive mode right now. Their defense is kind of suspect in my opinion. I think Patrick Mahomes is kind of starting to play more like the old Patrick Mahomes instead of the interception throwing Patrick Mahomes. So, anytime you got a guy like Mahomes who can run and things like that, and you got Tyreek Hill and Kelsey and God knows whoever else they throw out there. Kansas City's always going to be in there. Unfortunately, my Dallas, hey, we're playing tonight. We'll get more into that game later on. But, Dallas, we came out pretty hot. We came out the gate hot. And then somehow or another we kind of, obviously tonight we have no head coach. We do have Amari Cooper, but we don't have CeeDee Lamb. I mean, we're missing guys. We're missing guys all over the team. I don't know if Pollard is on the COVID list or not. They said they're going to run the ball for the most part. Dan Quinn, I think, is the head coach of the game tonight. But my point is that the defense is obviously dramatically improved for the Cowboys. But for some reason, man, we have just kind of stalled out a little bit. So, I hope we don't go into typical Cowboy mode like they were talking about earlier, where it's just kind of like, they win by accident, they lose by accident, whatever the case may be. I just want this team to find their baseline and start playing off that baseline. So we're going to have to wait and see on the Dallas Cowboys. The jury is still out.
I believe the Dallas Cowboys are at full strength. They got CeeDee Lamb tonight. Amari Cooper's playing.
COVID. I thought he was still out with COVID.
No, he was out last week with the concussion protocol, and he's back. He's in the lineup. He was at full participation this week for practice, so he's playing. You got Amari Cooper coming back playing. You got Michael Gallup back, and don't forget.
A full accompaniment.
Excuse me, sorry. We're talking about all these big name wide receivers, but the man to me that gives my eye and my attention for the Dallas Cowboys, Swartz, your tight end.
Yeah, I like that guy.
He is playing a tight end level like a Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce type.
Right.
And if he can keep it up, people in the NFC better be scared of the Dallas Cowboys if they make the playoffs. Normally, the Cowboys make the playoffs and they choke and they lose that first game in the playoff. I'm gonna see different this year. I'm gonna say that the Cowboys are gonna make it to the playoffs, probably win their first game, probably even make it to the NFC Championship game if they stay healthy and can keep doing what they're doing.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. Okay, so let's go to Arizona just for a minute. Obviously, Arizona is at 9-2. They got the Kyler Murray, is he back? I haven't checked on that one in a while. Is Kyler Murray back?
He is back. Yep, he is back. He was supposed to come back 2 weeks ago, but they rested him because they went into the bye week. They wanted to rest him an extra week, but he is back this week. He's playing. The same with DeAndre Hopkins. He is also back.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, with that lineup, the 9-2 lineup with Kyler Murray, like you said, and Hopkins back, in my opinion right now, Arizona's the best team. I think you could probably put Green Bay at number 2, probably put Kansas City at 3, and I would probably put New England at 4, just because I want to see a little bit more from New England before I push them up a little higher. But right now, man, I mean, hey, look, I got New England ahead of the Cowboys. That tells you how much. So yeah, if I put my top 5 together, that's pretty much where I'm at. I think Tennessee, Baltimore probably wind up in there somewhere. I'm kind of I don't want to get too much on the Tennessee wagon yet because they lost their running game in Henry, and I just don't know if they have enough to get through all the way there. I know they're sitting at 8-3 right now, but I kind of just
I wouldn't because they didn't just lose their running game, Jay. They lost every player. They lost A.J. Brown. They put him on injury reserve. Julio Jones is still out. He hasn't played. Literally, and as a Patriot fan, I love the fact that we blew the Tennessee Titans out of the water. Obviously, their running game was still on top last week. For some reason, I don't know why. They ran over 200 yards over us, and that was a shocker. But we still walked away with the win. And we basically played their practice squad. They had a bunch of nobodies on their team. And I wanted to play a fully healthy Titans. If we could play a fully healthy Titans and win, then they'll say something different about my team. But this upcoming game is where it's going to point out if we're playoff contenders.
So here's the deal. So, with Tennessee, without that, so would you pretty much consider Tennessee how far do you think Tennessee's going to go since they don't have because they came out so hot, man, and
they have a chance. They have a chance to win the division if Indianapolis keeps winning and Tennessee keeps losing. Right. Then we'll see a different aspect. But if Tennessee can make it to playoffs, I'm going to say that they're probably just going to lose the first round, and that's if the NFL still thinks that Derrick Henry's good. Derrick Henry is supposed to come back early July in time for the playoffs, apparently. So if Derrick Henry can overcome his injury and come back, then I'm going to say something different for the Tennessee Titans. But it's also not just a running game. They also need their wide receivers back, and all their wide receivers right now are injured. So if they can get everybody healthy back, fully healthy, not just 80%, 75%, I don't want to hear that. Oh, he's still questionable. It's hurting him a little bit, but we need him. No, if Tennessee can be fully healthy during the playoffs, then I can see them running at least into the divisional round.
Okay, here's the deal. Los Angeles Rams. They're 7-4 right now, and in the wild card spot. So the Rams, if you remember, man, when they first kind of came in the league, they kind of started off hot too, and they've kind of fizzled down a little bit. And of course, they had that loss to Green Bay. Von Miller, they brought him in. They brought Odell Beckham Jr. In, and I don't think it's really helped them out as much. I don't know, man. What's your take on the Rams? I don't see the Rams. I see the Rams making the playoffs as a wild card, but I don't see them going far, man. Stafford and Goff, they switched to those two guys, but I don't know that Stafford was any better than Goff was. What do you think?
I think the Rams can make it pretty far. Everybody thinks Green Bay is hot. Green Bay is not really a hot team. If you really look at it, they're winning because of Aaron Rodgers. But if the Rams can beat Arizona, then yeah, the Rams are definitely going to make it to the Super Bowl because Tom Brady and the Bucks, you never count out the GOAT in the playoffs. But then again, there's times where the GOAT sometimes loses in the playoffs. So if there's a team out there that can eliminate Tom Brady early and the Buccaneers, then my choice will come down to Arizona or LA. And the reason for that I say the Rams is not just because Matthew Stafford is playing a wonderful football that we all expected him to do when he got traded away. Let's be real. Any quarterback that plays for the Lions is going to play horribly because the Lions is a horrible franchise. But you have the number one wide receiver in Cooper Cup. You have a very great head coach in Sean McVay. And you also have a great defensive coordinator and a great defense. All right. So you got Aaron Donald. You have Jalen Ramsey. I believe that's who's on their team, right? Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey is a corner. That's their best corner.
And then you also have Von Miller. So if you can, put those pieces together and actually win games, I feel the reason why they're losing is because they're learning together as a defense, adding new players and stuff and new players in the offense. So that's probably why the reason they're losing now. But if you can get them to together and connect, this is going to be a dangerous team that can win, that can make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Another one, who I think is kind of fading out to me in terms of a quarterback, though, quite honestly, is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
I'm not questioning his judgment and decision making, man. I'm just kind of questioning that a little bit. What do you think about Jalen Hurts?
I think he's a good quarterback. He's doing really good right now. Especially with an Eagles team that has a bunch of nobodies. You didn't expect the Eagles to be how they are right now, but they're coming out with some wins that we didn't even expect them to win. So, they just came off a loss with the Giants, but it was a close loss. And that was a loss that they shouldn't, they don't need. They need wins right now. They're right behind Washington right now in third place. So Jalen Hurts, he just needs to turn it around. He just does have nobody to throw it to right now, and that's going to hurt them at the end. They can't just keep running the ball all the time.
Absolutely. All right, man. Hey, what's our next topic?
Our next topic is going to be our Northeast Streaming Sports promo. We'll be back in about 30 seconds, y'all.
You can see right now, without LeBron, the Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about the team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboys fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this team.
I'm ready.
I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face. Oh, from Brooklyn. Hey, isn't he?
All right.
Thank you to Northeast Streaming Sports for that promo.
You can see right
Ooh, Monday Night Football, Jay. My Pats versus them Bills. Do you want to start it off?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, and then after we do Monday Night Football, let's talk about this Thursday night
Thursday
football.
night.
But
Yeah.
Monday Night Football, Patriots and the Bills. Like I said, Patriots have really been coming up big time with Matt Jones. He's really been throwing the ball quite well. He fits obviously the Bill Belichick system, and they're on the rise. And of course, you got the Bills who are kind of fluctuating right now. Josh Allen is doing okay, but they've kind of been up and down with the Bills defense, and that's what's sad because the Bills defense is actually my fantasy football defense, and they've had good games and they've had some rough games. So I think tonight, though, I do believe the Patriots are going to take out these Bills. I'm going to go with probably a score of I'm gonna go 28-14. No, 28-17. Patriots over the Bills.
Thank you. I love that you said that. This is the game that I have been waiting for all year. This is the first game that we're playing Buffalo really late into the season, and this counts for so many things: divisional round, division, playoff. This game right here. I'm gonna say it. We're gonna win. We're gonna dominate the Bills. You think you've seen what the Colts did? I mean, I'm not gonna say we're gonna hold the Bills to 6 points, 9 points, or whatever like that. But look at the Patriots. Look at what they have become since losing to the Dallas Cowboys. They have won 6 straight in a row. That's tying the most for this season. I'm excited to say that we're going to beat the Bills. We're going to hold our first spot at the AFC East. We're going to hold the second seed of the playoffs until the Baltimore Ravens lose. Because once the Baltimore Ravens lose, we get first seed of the AFC. And we're going to hurt Josh Allen. They lost Tre'Davious White. They're gaining more on their defense that everybody was out from COVID or injuries. The Buffalo Bills, I'm saying they're getting people back, but that's not scaring me. People are, they're sharing it to me on Facebook and they're telling me this and telling me that. I don't care. I don't care. The reason why I don't care because of my man Matthew Judon. Matthew Judon with 11 and a half sacks. That's more than any sacks he got with the Baltimore Ravens. So if Matthew Judon could keep doing what he's doing and get to Mac Jones, we're gonna win. Our defense, our cornerbacks, J.C. Jackson and Adrian Phillips, they're playing one of the greatest um, positions right now in football, especially J.C. Jackson. He's a wonderful player, and I really hope that at the end of this season, Bill Belichick gives this guy a long-term contract because he needs it. He needs to stay with New England because of what he's doing. Other teams are looking at him, and they're going to swoop him up at the end of this year. So I feel really strong that we're going to dominate the Bills this year. Last year, if you look at it last year, we lost it on the first game by 2 or by 3 because of a Cam Newton fumble. We had no defense. Look at what we are this year. A young rookie quarterback who fits into the Bill Belichick and Matt and oh my God, Josh McDaniels playbook. He
Right.
sits in the pocket. He throws the ball wonderful, and he plays smart. He doesn't need to throw the deep balls. He knows that all he needs to do is throw the ball a couple yards, get the first downs time after time. As long as you drive the ball down, you're gonna get in the end zone. And he's playing a smart way. Waste the clock, waste the time, give the other team no time on the for the ball. So if we keep it up like this, we are the right now. Everybody on ESPN and CBS Sports, everyone, they are saying right now that the Patriots are the hottest team in the AFC, actually in the NFL, because of how we turned it around within 6 games. So we are scary. I'm not saying that we're going to make it to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl, but I am going to say we're going to make the playoffs, and we're definitely probably going to make the AFC Championship game if we continue to do what we do. The question is, who are we going to face in the AFC Championship game? Because there are other hot teams in the AFC right now that have the same record. So this is a game I'm really excited for. I'm pumped. I'm hyped. I can't wait. I hope I have that night off from work. If I don't,
Hey, here's the deal. There's a lot of implications on Monday night's games, right? So you got New England 8-4. You got Buffalo Bills 7-4. Buffalo Bills win tonight. They tie the AFC. They lose tonight. Then of course, New England gets a lot more breathing room on top of the AFC. New England is on a 6-game win streak. I think Buffalo's on a 1-game win streak. They just came out the win against the Saints. But what I was trying to tell you earlier about the Saints, about Buffalo Bills being up and down, you don't know what Buffalo Bills team you're playing. For example, you could get the ones that beat the Kansas City Chiefs 38-20, or you could get the ones that lose to Jacksonville Jaguars 9-6. Or you get the ones that lose 41-15 to the Colts. You don't really know what Jacksonville team you're getting. Almost like the Dallas Cowboys. Sometimes you don't know what Dallas Cowboys, either we're one way or we're the other way. I mean, there's no consistency right now with either of those two teams, but there's very much a consistency with the New England Patriots. And so right now the New England Patriots are riding very much a very high momentum. And you look at somebody like the Kansas City Chiefs, or you look at somebody like, I even think Baltimore is kind of inconsistent with. I mean, if you look at the last Baltimore game against the Cleveland Browns, I mean, I don't think anybody wanted to win that damn game. I mean, it was very, very pedestrian, very mediocre. And I'll tell you this: that's the game that Baltimore really should have ran over Cleveland and destroyed them. Because let's be honest, wasn't it Baker Mayfield? He had like 3 different injuries. He was he was non-mobile. They should have just feasted on that guy. I mean, between the toe injury or the heel injury and the knee injury and everything else, they should have just tore that guy up, because he was maybe playing at about 50 to 60%. He was not playing anywhere even near the 80 to 90%. But yet they had a hard time beating them. I think they beat about 1 score. So I don't really look at Baltimore. To me, I don't look at Baltimore as much of a threat. I think Kansas City could be a threat. I think Kansas City and New England could be in the AFC Championship game. That might be a possibility. Then you have to go up against Patrick Mahomes. But then again, like I said, I don't really believe in their defense. So I think this could be New England's year, man. To be honest, I think New England could fly under the radar all the way to the top, and I think a lot of people are going to not see them coming. But I see them. I see them, Frankie. You ain't getting past me. I see New England. I've been saying it. I hate New England.
I've been saying it since before the draft. I've been saying it since last year. The reason we sucked last year, the reason we went 7-9 last year, is because we had no defense. We had nobody. 9 players opted out because of COVID. They did not want to play last year because of COVID. 9 players. That's the most in NFL for any team to have players opt out. So I knew this year with the defense coming back and adding more to the defense, it was gonna, we were gonna change it around. And then giving us a young quarterback, literally handing us Mac Jones at the number 15 on the draft, it solidified it. It gave us the franchise quarterback for our team. Everybody's saying he's the next Tom Brady. I even told you, Jay, when you asked me last year, I remember you said, can Mac Jones be the next Tom Brady? And I responded, I don't want to see Mac Jones be the next Tom Brady. I want to see Mac Jones be the first Mac Jones. And he's doing it. He's being the first.
No, Frankie. No, Frankie. He is playing the prototypical Bill Belichick quarterback. Let's be honest. There's nothing wrong with that. He's playing flawless. He's doing the dink and dunk passes just like Brady. He's doing good game management, being smart with the ball, not throwing interceptions, just like Tom Brady. I mean, let's be honest. And now I'm kind of getting in my head, did Bill Belichick really mold Brady, and Brady just took that and elevated it? You know what I'm saying? Because now I see him doing the same thing with Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones and Tom Brady are very similar to each other. And I think Bill Belichick is just harnessing that and putting it in that system, the New England Patriots dink and dunk system, and he fits it. He fits the mold. Cam Newton did not fit the mold.
We had to change the playbook for Cam Newton because Cam Newton is a running quarterback.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's my point. What I'm saying is he's not that type of quarterback. He's a different guy.
Yeah.
What was the other guy before Cam Newton that you were so hyped on that turned out to be trash?
Jarrett Stidham.
There you go. Stidham wasn't even that kind of guy. He wasn't the Tom Brady-esque mode guy. He didn't have that, And Bill Belichick, he Jones is a smart IQ quarterback. Brady is a smart IQ quarterback. Let me tell you right now, Brady came out in the 6th round, had a terrible combine. He's not the most gifted athlete. I'm talking physically, I don't think he is, but he's smart. He knows how to play the system. He has very high football IQ. And he plays within the system, and he knows how to play with, and he knows how to get guys motivated and play for him. There's a lot of intangibles that Brady has outside the athletic realm. Same thing I think with Mac Jones. Mac Jones came in, he's being a leader, he's following the system, he's following the game plan, and success. And it all comes. That's why I think Bill Belichick truly is the one that created all of this.
And I've been asking myself, Jay, and I want to ask other people, plus you. Now, we obviously are not going to say Mac Jones is going to be greater or anything like that than Tom Brady. But 10 years from now, or even 20 years from now, if he can, because football's changing, so quarterbacks nowadays with the rules and stuff like that, they can play 20 years and not get hurt because of the rules. So if Mac Jones can play for the next 20 years, do you think he can become greater than what Tom Brady is? To me, I'm going to say maybe, because he has something that Tom Brady didn't. Mac Jones had two great coaches in college and in the NFL now. He learned from Nick Saban, one of the greatest college coaches in all of college football. And now he got drafted and put on the laps of Bill Belichick, the greatest coach of all time in the NFL, with the most rings of all time, the most wins. I wouldn't say most wins, but tied, I think, 2nd or 3rd with most wins as a coach. And he could be great within the next 20 years. He obviously not going to have Bill Belichick for the next 20 years. I think Bill Belichick's going to retire within the next 10. But if he can learn with Bill Belichick within the next 10 years, this guy can be kind of greater, or at least on the same level as Tom Brady. The question is, can he win the same amount of rings? It comes down to rings at the end of the day, but it also comes down to stats and breaking records. Can this kid do this within the next 10 to 20 years?
Here's the deal, right? I mean, can you say he's going to be better than Tom Brady? It's too early to tell. It's only year 1. Yeah. But I'll tell you what. But you know what? But here's the deal. You can look at it and see signs of that greatness to come. Right. You can see where he has, like I said, he fits into Bill Belichick's system perfectly. And Bill Belichick has a recipe for success. He's proven it for 7 rings. I mean, he's a guy that could take a player that nobody wanted and turn him into something special. He has that ability to take players that aren't necessarily marquee players and make them something special on defense, on offense. They've never had a true great number 1. Yeah, they had Randy Moss for a little bit, but they've typically had guys like Amendola, Russ Walker. Those are the then of course they had the great tight end and Gronkowski. But he has a recipe. Bill Belichick has a recipe for success, and he knows, just like Nick Saban has a recipe for success, and they can challenge people and get people to come play for them. And that's why I'm telling you, he can get 7 rings. Hell, he can get 8 rings. I mean, he's young. Who knows? I mean, it's crazy. Hey, there's my wife.
Hey, Mel, we miss you.
But there's signs, man. There's signs that he can get those types of rings. I mean, as long as Bill Belichick is coaching and is coherent and doesn't go senile on us, and he doesn't get injury plagued, I mean, if the stars align, the recipe for success is laid out before him. All he has to do is follow the blueprint. Follow the blueprint. Keep doing what you're doing, and you can get those rings. Absolutely.
I can't wait to see this kid's future. I really can't.
I'm trying to talk about the Patriots. I hate the Patriots.
I'm just glad that Mac Jones fell into our spot. If you guys got the chance, go to Frankie C Sports, my page, back in April during our draft. Jay and both Logan were in there with me, and you'll see my reaction when we drafted Mac Jones. I literally had to put my mic unmuted because Jay was talking, and I was just excited, screaming, jumping, and Jay just cut me off. He's like, "Hey, I'm talking here." I'm like, "I'm sorry, Jay. I had to put myself on mute because that's how excited I was to get Mac Jones."
Were, man. Hey, you were excited. And I get it, man. Hey, listen. Hey, Mac Jones is, looking at him now, I really ask myself, before we go Thursday Night Football, do you think that Urban Meyer, do you think that whoever the decision maker over there is with the San Francisco 49ers, I know Kyle Shanahan is the coach, but do you think John Lynch, their GM, do you think these guys are saying, God, man, we could have had Mac Jones. We could have had Mac Jones. And instead we got a potential. We got a potential in Trey Lance. Not a certified. We got a potential. And then, of course, you look at the Jets. Look at the Jets. You think they're going like, oh, shit, man. We took Wilson?
I believe everybody.
Lawrence, we could have had Mac Jones?
Exactly. That's what I was just about to say. Is I believe everybody that drafted a quarterback in the first round are saying that. From Jacksonville with the first overall pick and Trevor Lawrence he's not a bad quarterback. He's just on a bad system right now. Everything is new coach, new quarterback, new team. So give it about a year or two.
Yeah, I'm not
maybe.
writing them all off. I'm just saying, like, dang, man.
Zach Wilson, on the other hand, he looks like a bust, and I was excited for Zach Wilson. I believe so were you, because we all saw his workout tape, and this guy had an arm. He was doing good, but he got jumped in. He got put in the lap of the Jets.
I just thought Mac Jones should have gone 1. I think Justin Fields should have gone 2, and then maybe Trevor Lawrence 3. So forth down the road. I mean, you can plug them in wherever you want to plug them, but I just think that number 1 and 2 should have been Mac Jones and Justin Fields.
The biggest team that I believe that is pissed off for not getting Mac Jones, Chicago Bears, because they traded up with the Giants with the 10th overall pick, and they went and picked up Justin Fields. Right. Where you could have went and picked up Mac Jones, and that's where we, as Patriot fans, and I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick and the Patriots organization, we all thought that the Bears drafted up. We knew they were going to get a quarterback. We didn't know that they were going to get Justin Fields. We thought that they were going to pick up Mac Jones, but instead they went and picked up Justin Fields. And from then on, we knew Mac Jones was coming to us because the teams after that didn't need a quarterback.
But the Bears aren't hurting though. I think Justin Fields is going to fit fine in their system. I think he's going to do just fine. The problem with the Bears is Nagy. I don't like Nagy, however you say that guy's name. I think he's done. I think they just need to go ahead and move on from him. I think Nagy for me is the issue there. Time will tell, but I think they're going to write him out to the end of the year. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Chicago Bears go after a new coach at the end of this year. I would not. Before we
move on to Thursday Night Football and our next segment, I just want to say Mac Jones alone has more wins than all the other quarterbacks that got drafted combined. So that says something about Mac Jones, guys. Dallas Cowboys. How about them boys? Can the Cowboys reach the Super Bowl finally with this hot team? I'm going to start it off because this is your team. You got the jersey on and stuff, so I'm going to be quick. I think they can definitely make the Super Bowl this year. I really do. They have a hot team. They have a good, strong offense. I've been saying that for years. They have a strong star offense. It was their defense that was holding them back from winning. And now that they got a good defense, look at my man, Micah Parsons. Don't put that rookie to the side. He's playing at a good defensive rookie year. So if the defense could do great, they're missing Gregory. He's hurt, but Gregory could come back in time to step it up and help this defense out. If he comes back at the perfect time for the playoffs, man, this team is going to be scary. This team shut down Stephen A. Smith. I'm a huge First Take fan. I watch First Take every morning at 10 a.m., right? Stephen A. Smith had nothing to say for the first about 6 to 8 weeks about the Dallas Cowboys until they started to lose their last 2 to 3 games.
Right.
Then he wants to start saying something.
They lost a lot, man. They lost DeMarcus Lawrence, Randall Gregory. They lost, Amari Cooper for a period of time, CeeDee Lamb for a period of time.
Exactly.
This team has taken some hits.
Exactly. So bring all those people back. They got their offense fully strength for tonight's game. You bring back your defense at full strength by playoffs. This is going to be a scary team that I can see can beat the Arizona Cardinals and make it to the Super Bowl, honestly. But this is your team. Go ahead.
Hey, listen, I want y'all to know one thing. My boy's back. DeMarcus Lawrence, D-Law, is back playing tonight. So that means we're starting to round back into form. We're getting CeeDee Lamb back. We're getting Amari Cooper back. most of our team is coming back. So obviously Dan Quinn is going to be coaching tonight. They're going to have what's his name? Taysom Hill running the Wildcat. I call him the Wildcat guy. He's running that Wildcat style of offense out there in New Orleans. I think probably Simeon will come in for a few plays just to kind of throw a wrench in there every now and then. But, from what I understand, Taysom Hill gets to start for New Orleans tonight. And I think tonight is the night. Now, this is being played in New Orleans. But I think tonight is the night that the Dallas Cowboys get this train back on the tracks and start making some signs of greatness and start turning people's heads again. I think tonight is the night that we start getting it rolling. And if I'm wrong, well, then I guess I'll hang up my jersey and go on to next year. But I really believe that I am right. I feel the mojo. I think Dak is going to come out. I think they're going to go back to slinging the ball down in the slot to CeeDee Lamb on the thirds. And I think they're going to go to Amari Cooper on the first. And I think they're going to give a heavy dose of run to my boy, none other than my boy Big Zeke. I think Zeke is going to get the run in tonight, and I think we're going to do well. Now, I'm not taking anything for granted, man. Listen, New Orleans has, they play with heart, they play with spirit. I think their defense is fairly decent. So there's not they're just going to roll around and play dead. But I think tonight, I don't think we're going to win by a little bit. I think we're going to make an impact statement on tonight. I think our defense is going to roll. I think we're making an impact statement tonight. What do you think?
I agree with you. It hurts for me to say this, but I agree with you. This is not a really hot Saints team that started off the year with a fully healthy roster. Jameis Winston and Alvin Kamara. They never had Michael Thomas. So, this isn't the Saints that we thought, that can win the games like they did in the beginning of the season. This is a injured Saint teams, and I'm going to say right now, if the Dallas Cowboys walk away with the loss, Jay, keep your head down every time you walk the streets. Never wear a Cowboy sign. Never put a star on your body. Just don't do it because it's gonna. They don't even have Alvin Kamara tonight. So
I know that's right. They don't have Alvin Kamara tonight. That's even more reason why we should
exactly. So they do have Mark Ingram. Don't push Mark Ingram to the side. He's still
Alabama Ingram
running back.
Yep.
But they don't have nobody. And then you're telling me that they decided to start Taysom Hill over Trevor Simeon. So I don't see.
They don't believe in Simeon.
I don't see it. I see that the Cowboys and I'm going to agree with you. I see the Cowboys dominate this game. I'm going to say a final score of about like 32 to maybe 17, maybe even lesser points for the Saints because this is a Saints team that got blown out last week. And I believe that the Cowboys, how hot they are with a fully healthy offense, they're going to score a lot of points on the Saints.
So, okay, let's say this. What if they do actually do what we're saying? What if the Cowboys come out and they put on a dominant performance? What does that mean for Mike McCarthy since Dan Quinn led the team since he's getting the head coaching nod tonight? What is that going to mean for Mike McCarthy? Is that going to put him in the hot seat for upcoming contract?
No. Mike McCarthy turned his team around. He turned his team around. Every coach has a day where he lets another coordinator coach for him. It's so that way that coordinator gets a future head coaching spot. And Dan Quinn already been a head coach, took the Falcons to the Super Bowl, lost, but he also won a Super Bowl with the Seahawks. Dan Quinn went to 3 straight Super Bowls from 48 to 50. From 40, he went to 48, 49, didn't go to 50, went to 51. So he went to 3 out of 4 Super Bowls. So Dan Quinn is a really good coach. For him to be a play caller and interim head coach for tonight, it makes perfect sense. Do I think it puts Mike McCarthy in the hot seat if Dan Quinn wins? No, definitely not. Because you expect Dan Quinn to win with the head coaching caliber stats that he has
and the roster that he's been given.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, I just want to do a pulse check on McCarthy with you. That's all. Hey, what we got up next? We're right about the 51 mark. Yeah, what we got next?
I mean, we already discussed this during the Monday Night Football game. Patriots and Mac Jones, are they Super Bowl contenders? They definitely can make the Super Bowl. Like I said, it depends on who they face in the AFC East or in the AFC Championship game. I do think, like Jay said, I do think we're strong enough to beat the Kansas City Chiefs if we end up facing or making it to face them.
I will say Judon was probably one of the best pickups at Bill Belichick brought. I think he's the best free agent that got picked up that whole free agency period.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. I was really excited when we picked him up because I knew once we picked him up, that was going to turn our season around, especially our defense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He fits in that system so well. Here we go. Let's talk about this craziness.
Yeah, let's talk about this quick. We got about 10 minutes.
We still got to get into the fantasy football, but Frank, I'm going to take this one first. I got to take this one first.
Go ahead.
Listen, man. Everybody knows Georgia number 1. Okay, get it. That's a solidified number 1. Michigan at number 2, Alabama number 3, Cincinnati number 4. This is where it gets dicey for me. I think Cincinnati gets no damn respect whatsoever. This is stupid. They're 12-0. Yeah, I get it. You can pull a strength of schedule, whatever. But Cincinnati deserves the number 2 spot. Michigan deserves the number 3, and Alabama deserves the number 4. And let me tell you something about this Bama at number 4. I personally think that Bama shouldn't be in the damn top 4, but they're getting it because of money. They're getting it because of Nick Saban. There's a lot of X factors that's playing into why they're still in the top 4. But I think when you lose 3 over, or when you're down, or you go through 3 overtimes, Auburn gives you the game when they should have cut the ball inbound instead of having to run out of bounds and drain more of that clock. When they should have taken the quarterback out who could barely move and put in a more mobile quarterback. They gave you that damn game. All honestly, you should be 11-2. Oklahoma State should have that number 4 spot. They earned it more than you guys did. But that's just my point. I don't like this whole college rankings 1 through 4 right now at all. What do you think, Frankie?
I agree with you. Cincinnati being undefeated, they definitely deserve the number 2 spot. Michigan, they came off a wonderful win over Ohio State last Saturday. I agree. They definitely deserve to be number 3. And Alabama deserves to be number 4. And, me being an Alabama fan because of Nick Saban, I like that guy as a coach. I agree. We definitely should be 11-2. We walked away with a sneaky win last week over Auburn. And like Jay said, they gave it to us. That Auburn quarterback literally could not walk, but he fought himself to play that game and finish that game. Much respect to him because most players don't do that. But you also have to watch yourself because you're playing a very important position that coaches and NFL they focus more on that position for the future. So you don't want to hurt yourself too early to where you end your season real quick. So I agree with you. The correct standings to me should be Georgia at number 1, Cincinnati at number 2, Michigan at number 3, and Oklahoma at number 4. Honestly, Alabama should be about 6. Notre Dame should be 5th. That's how I see it.
I'll tell you this right now, though. This Saturday is going to be the telltale sign. Because Saturday, we got the dream matchup of Georgia and Alabama in the SEC showdown.
Yep.
So, okay, Bama, you're in the 3 spot, whatever. They made the case for you, whatever. But if you lose the SEC showdown, I promise you, Nick Saban, and I'm going to promise you, Georgia, okay, Alabama, in my opinion, their defense is a little suspect to me. Georgia's going to have that ground and pound game and basically wear you down. Georgia's playing just too good right now for them to lose to Alabama. I see Georgia steamrolling Alabama. They're going to stay number 1, and I see Alabama dropping out. And I do see Oklahoma State sneaking into the top 4 come Monday or Tuesday of next week, whenever they release the new pollings.
And that's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. I meant to say Oklahoma State at number 4. Yes, because they're the ones that walked away.
We knew.
They walked away with the win over Oklahoma last week, the Sooners. That's what I meant to say, the state.
Let's talk about this fantasy football real quick. We got about 4 minutes left real quick. Let's jump up. We'll come back to those other topics some other day. But I want to talk about this fantasy football. Because you know why? Your boy is tied. Your boy is tied with Brandon. What's his last name? My mind is going blank for some reason. But anyway, he's tied with Brandon Herrera. So me and Brandon Herrera are tied right now. And I'll tell you right now, I'm a little nervous about Brandon Herrera's team. He's got a really good team. The guy's been scoring a lot of points with his team. So I honestly think it's going to be me and him going at it because let's just be honest. Y'all guys got a chance, but it's gonna be me and Brandon Herrera going at it. And but I think I'm gonna have a tough time beating him. I look at the league, and I will say Frankie is right there behind me at the number 3 spot. Okay,
I turned my season around quick. I
Hey,
started
hey,
off 1-3.
Frankie could actually pull an upset on me, and I'm talking big smack right now. But Frankie could pull an upset on me. He's at 9-3. Okay, he's at 9-3. The next closest one is at 6-6, and it's which is Allen Two Digs, Tinker Toys. They're all out. They're non-negotiables. It's really going to come down to the big 3: me, Frankie, Brandon Herrera. Oh,
And let me tell you guys something. I already got a win over Jay this year. Jay has 2 losses, and I'm the first one to put that loss on Jay's column. He started off 5-0. Jay did, and
yeah.
then Jay stopped
Slippery and hot.
focusing. Jay stopped focusing on fantasy for a couple of weeks, and I walked away with a sneaky win. So I got a win over Jay. So if Jay ends up losing this week,
hey, tell me the truth, Frank. I'm gonna ask you the question. You knew what's going on in the world. You knew watch this. When you seen that one player that says the word "buy" on it.
yeah.
Watch this. You said, watch this. I'm gonna show you what Frankie did. He pulled it up on the little computer and he's looking at Jason's squad. He sees the word "buy." He knows Jason and what's going on. And then Frankie did this number. And then he probably had a beer. So then he starts drinking.
But what's funny about it is he had one player on a bye, but he was still close to almost beating me. That was weird. It scared me a little bit. I'm like, if I really lose to Jay, who didn't even change his lineup and wasn't paying attention, I'm gonna be upset. I'm not even gonna play fantasy anymore.
And that's the way this cookie crumbles, folks. We are right at the 1 hour mark, just about. Frankie, let's talk. What do you want to say to the folks before we get out of here?
Well, what I really want to say is if Jay ends up losing this week at fantasy, he's going to the 3rd spot. And if I win, which is most likely going to happen, I'm going to go to the number 2 spot. And then Jay can, by Saturday, look sad. So,
hey, real quick. Hey, who do you got this week? Who you playing?
I got Cheese.
Oh, yeah, you're winning.
Joshua.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry. I got breaking the game. It's going to stay in status quo, baby.
It's going to be a good week at fantasy. Listen, guys, all I got to say is I hope everybody's team is doing great in the NFL. I hope everybody's team is doing good in the NBA. Congratulations to the Atlanta Braves, who are the World Series champion. We're going to get more into that on Saturday with our boy Logan because Logan's an Atlanta Braves fan. So we're going to save that for him because we want to see his face when we congratulate him on being a champion finally. And he did it over somebody's team. But we're not going to get into that. We're gonna wait for Saturday.
Yeah, that's gonna be a rough day for me. But yep.
But guys, if you see on the bottom, it says that we're on every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. and Saturdays at 9. We changed our times. We're still on the same days, Thursdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays. Changed our time to 7 p.m. Eastern time, and on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So you can catch us on Unscripted, Northeast Streaming Sports, YouTube, Zodiac TV, BS3 Network. We're all over the place. Also, you can catch me on Frankie C Sports, posting stuff, sharing stuff, and my videos as well. I will be bringing back my shows pretty soon, but I'll come back soon. I'll let you guys know that. Jay, you got any final thoughts?
Yeah. You better be damn glad I bought you that New England Patriots jersey, my guy. It's done you proud.
It has. It really has. I lost literally one game in that jersey. The only game that I lost with wearing that jersey was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ah.
And since then I'm about 4-1 with that. So, and I will be wearing it this Monday when we're traveling to Buffalo and when we beat the Bills and solidify ourselves as the true number 1 spot in the AFC East and claim what's rightfully ours.
All
right, guys. Have a good night. We love you guys. And see you Saturday.
You're listening to Unscripted on Northeast Streaming Sports.
Man, he did good.